Hey guys, how are you today? I thought I would jump on just to provide a little bit of context of some things that I've been thinking about over the last, 24, 48 hours and see if this might be something useful for you as well. So I was listening to Brene Brown's podcast yesterday and I found some of her suggestions hugely helpful. She talks about how, in light of the situation we're in with this self isolation and this, kind of this feel, of course, of quarantining and being cut off from obviously human contact and touching and just being able to really see people and engage in a more physical way. She talked about a couple of tools which I thought were really helpful, and I just want to pass this along to you in the event you're not able to watch her podcast. But clearly when it comes to kind of expressing our needs, especially now, we're definitely not always operating at 100%. Obviously, we've been under a lot of immense stress. We've kind of we peaked with this crisis, and now we're kind of coming down a little bit. And of course, the chemistry in our body is trying to assimilate and stabilize. And she mentions about how we really just need to kind of claim where we are. If we had to look at our current feeling, emotions, capability in terms of percentages, where are you today? Well, for example, today I'm probably at 20%. And so then you have to kind of step back and think, all right, what do I need to do to get back to 100%? Or if you have a partner and you're at 20% and your partner's at 40, well, you're at 60, you still haven't come up with 100. So what are we going to do as a team to get us back to 100%? And she references literally the same types of modalities that really work for immune boosting, which is, okay, number one, everybody's got to get 8 hours of sleep because you clearly cannot operate well when you're tired and your brain is just, exhausted, right? And your body's exhausted. Number two, making sure everyone gets daily movement. So she's literally referencing these as points about what her family does to get back to 100. And number three, ensuring that they're eating clean, nutritious foods. So remove the sugars and all the processed foods and really stabilizing around those three pillars, which I found to be spot on. When we're running at half tank, we're eating a bunch of sugars. We're not sleeping well. We've clearly got a lot of stress, and really the number one way to kind of release the stress is through physical activity or exercise. So I just want to pass that along to you too, as well today when you're thinking about I'm not feeling well, and I'm be the first to say today I'm not feeling 100% at all, and I'm trying to be patient and kind with myself and not try to put so much pressure around all the stuff I have to do, and literally just go back to those three. It's just another great reminder. Getting 8 hours of sleep, number one. Number two, getting your daily movement. Number three, eating clean, wholesome foods, and staying away from processed foods as best as you can. So with those three in mind, that will really contribute to getting you back to 100%, functionality really through this, sustained crisis. And the other thing that I think is important to point out is, this is definitely a marathon. It's not a sprint. And she talks to that as well. We had the urgency of an immediate crisis, and everybody really kind of performs, quite frankly, under immense stress, with a lot of cortisol and hormones that are pumping and adrenaline. And now that we're kind of coming down to realizing like, wow, this isn't going to end potentially anytime soon. So this is about now pacing ourselves and seeing it as a long game, not a short game where we're out of this in a week. So with that in mind, we now have to start thinking about what is my strategy over the next month, 2 months. How am I going to feel centered, productive, not trying to wear too many hats, especially when we're still parenting kids who are out of school, right? So I had read another article from a doctor, and I can't remember their name, and I should have looked it up before I hopped on here, but I thought the advice was pretty brilliant, even in light of the stress and anxiety I'm experiencing. You know, we have full-time jobs, we're working from home, we are full-time parent, we're, you know, parenting, and all of a sudden we're thrown into this, now you are homeschooling, so now you're a teacher. So you're, you know, full-time job or your career, you are now full-time stay-at-home parent, as well as a full-time, you know, stay-at-home teacher. Well, those are 3 full-time jobs. Clearly, you know, we're not trained in all 3 to be done simultaneously and to think that we're going to do it well. So she had referenced, this doctor had referenced again, you're not going to do all 3. It's just not realistic. So stop setting yourself up for that massive meltdown by trying to juggle all 3. Just stay present as a full-time parent. And that is the number one thing. If you had to prioritize, that would be it. And I found that really useful because, again, I'm not going to create an environment here in my home that's built on, you know, losing my patience, freaking out because things aren't getting done according to a schedule at the expense of not only my peace of mind, but also creating a safe haven for my family, my son. And I don't want to create that energy in the home in light of what we're dealing with already. So I just want to pass that along to you in the event that that's helpful to, you know, really to give yourself a break and recognize that these are 3 full-time jobs. It's just not humanly possible to do it all and do it all well at 100%. So offering those as some tips for today. Allow yourself to just, again, breathe, give yourself a break. It's not all intended to be a sprint here. It is a marathon, so we all need to kind of pace ourselves. And, you know, first and foremost, make sure that we're taking care of our health. So if you have any questions or any other things that you might need help with or have just general questions, you can reach me at andrea@nutritioncommission.org. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. I hope you're all doing well, and above all, stay safe and just stay in a state of peace. And I wish you all well. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.